My name is Eva. I am 32 years old and I live in London. I am a mother, and my son is the light of my life. I never thought my life would become a storm. Once I lived a quiet, happy life. My world was small, but it was full of love. The center of my world was my little boy. He had soft brown hair and bright eyes that shone like the sun. His laughter filled the house like music. I remember the small things most. How he would run to me when I came back from the market. How his small hands would hold my face when I kissed him good night. Every night I told him a story. Sometimes it was about brave animals. Sometimes it was about the stars in the sky. And sometimes it was about mothers who never let go of their children. He would fall asleep on my arm, and I would stay awake a little longer, watching him breathe. To me, he was everything. My husband and I lived together with him. We ate dinner together, we smiled sometimes, and I believed my family was safe. I thought my husband loved our son the way I did. I thought he would always protect us. I did not know how wrong I was. One evening, my life broke apart. I came home to find silence. My son's toys were on the floor, but he was not there. I called his name again and again, but only the echo answered me. The air felt empty. Then I found a note from my husband. He had taken our son. At first, I thought it was only for a day. Maybe he was angry. Maybe he wanted space. But the next morning, papers arrived. Court papers. He was fighting for full custody. When I read them, my hands shook so much I could not hold the page. My husband had written lies. Dirty, cruel lies. He said I was unfaithful. He said I cheated on him. He wrote, "A woman like her cannot be trusted with a child." I dropped the paper. My body felt cold. I whispered again and again, "It's not true. It's not true." But lies can travel faster than truth. The days that followed were heavy like iron chains. Neighbors began to look at me with suspicion. I heard their whispers as I passed. "Poor man," one said. "His wife cheated, and now she wants to keep the child." Another said, "A woman like that should not be a mother." Some of my friends stopped calling me. Even relatives looked at me differently. Doubt is a poison. It spreads quickly. I felt it around me everywhere. At night, I hugged my son's toys close to me. I pressed his small blanket to my face, breathing in the last smell of him. Tears soaked my pillow. My heart broke again each time I thought of his smile, of his voice calling, "Mama." I felt powerless. But even in the middle of my pain, something inside me refused to die. I told myself, I am his mother. He is my blood, my soul. I will not give up. I will fight. One morning, I gathered my courage and went to see a lawyer. She was a woman with sharp eyes, yet her face was kind. She listened to me in silence as I told my story. When I finished, my voice was shaking. I whispered, "Maybe no one will believe me. His lies are strong." She leaned forward, put her hand on mine, and said firmly, "Eva, do not be afraid. Truth has a voice. Sometimes it speaks slowly, but it never disappears. We will give it a chance to speak." Her words lit a small fire of hope inside me. For the first time in weeks, I felt I was not alone. The court days began. The first time I walked into that courtroom, I felt the weight of 1,000 eyes. My husband was already there, sitting with his lawyer. He looked calm, almost proud. When his eyes met mine, he smiled, but it was not a smile of love. It was cold, cruel, like he had already won. His lawyer spoke first. His voice was loud and full of fake confidence. "This woman," he said, pointing at me, "is not fit to be a mother. She betrayed her husband. She cheated. She is a liar, and a liar cannot raise a child." Then he showed papers, photos, messages, all fake. He brought witnesses who said they saw me with another man. Each word was another knife in my chest. People in the courtroom looked at me with doubt. Some nodded as if they believed him. Even the judge frowned at me more than once. I wanted to shout, "It's a lie!" I wanted to scream until my voice broke. But my lawyer touched my hand under the table and whispered, "Wait. Do not break. Our time will come." So I stayed silent. Silent, but inside I was shaking. The trial dragged on for weeks. Each day was another attack. Each day I was painted as unfaithful, unworthy. At night I prayed. I asked God for strength. I held my son's picture in my hands and whispered to it, "I will not stop. I will bring you back to me." Sometimes, memories came like waves. My son was running in the park, laughing as I chased him. His small voice said, "Mommy, stay with me." Those memories became my strength. They reminded me why I could not give up. Finally, the last day of the trial arrived. The air in the courtroom was heavy. People filled every seat, waiting for the final decision. My husband's lawyer stood first. He repeated his lies. He called me a traitor. He said I was not fit to raise a child. His voice was sharp, cutting. When he finished, my husband sat straight, his face proud, his lips curved in a cruel smile. He thought he had already won. Then my lawyer stood. She looked calm, but her voice was firm, steady, strong. "Your Honor," she said, "everything you have heard about Eva is false. She never cheated. She never betrayed her family. The true betrayal was not hers. It was her husband's." The room went silent. People leaned forward. My husband's smile faded. His lawyer jumped up and shouted, "Objection!" But the judge raised his hand. "Sit down," he ordered. My lawyer opened her folder and placed papers on the judge's desk. "Here," she said, "are phone records, photos and messages. They prove it was the husband who cheated, not Eva." People in the courtroom were shocked. They started whispering to each other. My husband's face turned white. His lawyer stared at the papers, speechless. They thought they removed all the proof against them. But no matter how hard you try, some traces always remain, waiting to be found. But my lawyer was not done. She turned to the door. "Your Honor," she said, "there is someone here today who also deserves to be heard." The doors opened. A young woman walked in. She was nervous, but her eyes were clear. People whispered loudly, "Who is she?" She stood before the judge. My lawyer spoke gently. "This is the woman he has been seeing. She did not know he was married. She thought she was his only love. She is here to tell the truth. The woman looked at me, her eyes full of sorrow. Then she turned to the judge. Her voice trembled, but her words were strong. I did not know he had a wife. He told me he was free, that he had no family. I believed him. But I was wrong. She held up her phone. I have all the messages, all the photos, all the calls. He lied to me, and he lied about her too. The courtroom exploded in whispers. My husband jumped to his feet, shouting, "She's lying! She's lying!" But the young woman shook her head and showed the judge her phone. The proof was clear. The judge looked serious. He hit the table with his hammer. The whole room became silent. Then he spoke firmly. This court finds that Eva has been wrongly accused. The husband has lied, created false evidence, and tried to destroy her name. Custody of the child will return to Eva immediately. Case closed. Tears filled my eyes. My whole body shook, but this time with relief. The people in the courtroom clapped softly. My husband sat frozen, his face white with shame. The young woman turned and left, tears rolling down her face. When I stepped outside, the sun was shining. And there, running toward me, was my son. His small legs moved fast, his arms open wide. "Mommy!" he cried. I fell to my knees, and he jumped into my arms. I held him tight, breathing him in, feeling his little heart beat against mine. "I missed you," he whispered. "I missed you too, my love," I said, kissing his hair again and again. "And I promise, no one will ever take you away from me again." That night, I tucked him into bed. I watched his eyes close, his breath slow. My heart was full, overflowing. My husband had tried to bury me under lies, but the truth rose higher. Now, when people look at me, they no longer see rumors. They see a mother who fought for her child and won. And I know this. No matter how dark the night is, the sun always rises. If this story touched your heart, please do like, share, and subscribe to this channel. See you in the next video. My sweet viewers, thanks for watching.